Hello and welcome to the Lesbian Lounge, a podcast for the girls who like girls. I'm your host and your resident lesbian big sister, Juliet Taylor, and I'm here to answer your dilemmas, read out your questions, and of course, your wildest dating stories. This podcast is a safe space for the girlies, the gays, and the theys, so grab a drink, get comfy, and welcome in to the Lesbian Lounge. It still feels a bit crazy calling it the Lesbian Lounge. If you don't know, we had a rebrand. We used to be Live, Laugh, Love Lesbian, but I just feel so much more content with the Lesbian Lounge. It feels so right. And I've had a lot of you message saying like it was the right shift as well. And since we've done that, I just feel like good things have been happening. Like, you know, when one thing just like clicks into place and then good things just follow. It's like the universe is like, yeah, you did the right thing. Here's more good things, which touch wood, I don't want to jinx the good things coming because they're really freaking good. Like really exciting things like signing contract things are happening. But I don't want to jinx anything by saying that good things are coming and then they stop coming. So touch wood, thank you universe for all the good things in my life, thank you. Welcome in, thanks for being here. I do have a feeling, a sneaky suspicion, that there's going to be a fair few new listeners in this week's episode and hopefully forevermore because we've been going a little bit viral on the TikTok. I sound old, I never call it the TikTok, but we have been going viral over on TikTok, we've been going a little bit viral. I'm talking like 1.4 million views on one of our Question of the Week videos, which it blows my mind. Like I have like a weird concept of numbers, like you could say 50 and that would be a big number to me. Like I think if something gets 50 views or 50 likes, that's a lot of people, like 50 whole people. So 1.4 million, like I can't picture that because I think 50 is a big number. So 1.4 million, it baffles me. It like completely and utterly and well and truly blows my mind. But yeah, we've had all of those views on TikTok, which have led to new followers for the podcast, new downloads, new subscribers. So if you're one of our new listeners, welcome in. If you're a returning listener, thank you for being here. I love you all. And it's just crazy. Like I said, I'm genuinely like, I would do the podcast if one person listened, if no one listened, if 3 people listened and they were my girlfriend, my mum and me, I would still make it. But the fact that there's you guys out there who enjoy listening and want to get involved and sending in your dilemmas and interacting with the questions of the weeks is complete and utter madness. So if you're a new listener, thank you for being here. Download, subscribe, stick around because we have a good little gay time here. If you haven't joined the Lesbian Lounge group chat, make sure you do that. That's a fun little place where I share exclusives into each week's episode of the podcast. We have little chit chats in there, so definitely come and join. I think I changed the name actually. It's now the Lesbian Lounge Insiders because we're like inside the Lesbian Lounge, sort of like exclusive little group chat. So definitely come join there. You'll have to head over to my personal Instagram because I think you need so many followers to make a broadcast channel on Instagram, and I didn't have that many followers on the Lesbian Lounge Instagram. But whilst you're there, follow my Instagram at Juliet Francis T, and then follow at the Lesbian Lounge.podcast. I think I got that right. I've recently changed it, so it could be wrong. But it's all linked in the description of the podcast, so you can find the right place to go and follow us. And whilst you're there, subscribe on YouTube and we're everywhere. You can't miss us. When people are like, where can I listen? I'm like, you can listen literally anywhere. I know like the main places is like Apple, Spotify and YouTube, but we're listed on like other podcast sites too. But like one of them's called like Podbean. I've never heard of anyone go, oh, where do you listen to your podcast? Oh yeah, Podbean. I mean, if you're listening on Podbean, I love you. But I've never heard anyone go, oh yeah, I'm a Podbean podcast girl. I'm an Apple podcast girl. I'm an Apple Music girl. I don't listen on Spotify to any podcasts really. And I only really watch YouTube videos. Like I don't watch podcasts on YouTube, but I know a lot of you guys like to, so that's why we film for YouTube as well. Because I want to make you guys happy. I want you guys to enjoy watching, and if you like to physically watch me, hey, if you like just to listen to me, hey too. Let's describe what I'm wearing for the audio listeners. So we've got a black little headband on. I've got a red wine supernova Chapel Roan t-shirt on. I've got all my rings on. I have a new ring from my girlfriend, which I showed you all a few weeks ago. Only got a few bracelets on today. I've got a little initial necklace on, and then just some jogging bottoms, which are like forest green, so they really don't match the black top and the black headband, but no one's looking at that. I hope not, don't judge me for colour clashing. But yeah, if you're watching, hey, if you're listening, hey, hope you can hear me okay. I do sound a bit snotty today because I have a cold. I've had a cold for about a week. Like, I literally think I filmed last week's episode and then got sick. I'm feeling much better, but there was no way I was going to miss filming an episode. I was like, I'm still coming through for the girlies and the gays and the theys. They're still getting an episode. Maybe I'll just be a bit sniffly, or maybe I'll just have to have a little cough, do you know what I mean? But you guys don't mind, we're besties here, you won't judge me, I hope. But yeah, thank you all for being here. It just, yeah, I'm going to say it so many times, but it just blows my mind that there's so many of you listening and subscribing and downloading and interacting with the podcast. There's so many exciting things coming. Like, I wish I could tell you, but again, I don't want to jinx things, but we haven't yet. We are this close to signing something so exciting. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to jinx this incredible thing coming. But what I will say is this, I'm pointing to the background behind me, it won't be the Lesbian Lounge for much longer. We're getting an upgrade. We're signing things momentarily. So just hang around for that, because that's going to be insanely exciting and is literally going to change the whole podcast. But yeah, there's so many exciting things coming, so make sure you're sticking around. Make sure you're subscribed and downloaded so you don't miss an episode. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok so you don't miss all these exciting updates, because TikTok at the minute, that's where the party's at. 1.4 million views. Mind is blown. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else exciting to update you all on. I don't really think I do. I think that's the most exciting thing that I can't really tell you all right now, but it's pretty cool. And when I can tell you, you guys are going to love it. I did make a little note. Did I have anything else to update you all on? No, I didn't. I'm boring. I've literally been sick for the past week, so I have done nothing apart from go to view something somewhere, I might say. Yeah, it feels weird not telling you all, but it'll be worth the wait, I promise. And I'm so grateful for everyone who is here, who's stuck around since the beginning. Like, if you have genuinely been listening since the first episode, wow, how are you not sick of me? I don't know, but please don't get sick of me. Please stick around for the next 35 episodes. It's crazy that this is episode 35, like completely and utterly crazy. But anyway, I'm going to stop blabbing and I'm going to get into this week's episode, because we have so many questions of the week answers to get through. I think over 1,000. It might take a few parts to get through this question of the week because it's gone a bit crazy. So without further ado, let's jump straight on into this week's episode. So this week's question of the week is for the Masc Lesbians, and it is, how do you know a femme is gay? What signs do you look for to know that a femme lesbian is gay? So let's get into it. And of course, our poster girl for this week's episode, let's show you. It's Katie McCabe and Caitlin. That's probably why it's got so many views, because everyone's there for Katie. Yeah, so let's read out your answers to Masc Lesbians. What's something you look for to know that a femme is gay? I just put gayer than I look in my Tinder bio. I'm tired, LMAO. I'm just here for the masks. There's a lot of those comments. Eyes. Eye contact and rings. I feel like I've really upped the ring game recently. I've got lots of rings. Prolonged eye contact always. I'm so curious. Well, hopefully these comments will help you. It's our eye contact during a conversation, but if we're shy, it's if you catch us staring across the room multiple times and then go from there. That damn smirk. Lol, no clue. If I can make them giggle, I like this. If I can make them giggle, I just hope to make those cheeks jiggle. That's so funny. Centering woman is the first thing I noticed about my wife, who is femme and straight passing. She didn't give a fuck about dudes despite a lot of attention. She also clearly flirted back. I feel like that's so telling, isn't it? Like, if there's like loads of men in a bar and this woman just like could not care less about their presence, I feel like that's a very telling sign of a lesbian. Somebody's aura. I'm more of a femme, but my signal is the ghost with her boobs out on my arm. Love it. Eyes. There's lots of eyes. Elevator eyes. What is that? Complementing your body, facial features, hair, lots of touching. I founded an entire sapphic brand of jewellery to deal with this issue. That's so iconic. The energy never lies. I'd love to know. I'm the straightest looking femme I know. And you know the thing I like there's so many femmes replying to this girl being like, I'm also an incredibly straight looking femme, like let's band together and help each other out. I love that. Ask them to sit normally on a chair and watch them struggle. I feel like that is such a good way. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say I sit like, you know, you got the like proper like sit like that, but I can't sit normally on a chair. I just can't, like, that's why I have my little footrest so I can rest my feet and move around, because I just can't sit normally on a chair. Femme here, but I'd say it's certain energy that somebody gives off. It's the eyes, they never lie. I'm a femme, and apparently it's a vibe. Rings and being an Arsenal fan. For sure. For sure. Oh, that was a bit aggressive. But yeah, if you go to an Arsenal women's match, that is a dating, I was going to say like a dating pool. That is like, who needs a dating app when you've got an Arsenal women's match? Do you know what I mean? Just go and like look for like the girls like looking confused, like, oh, I'm looking for seats like F22, or like I'm looking for Katie McCabe. Like, that's your lesbians right there. Being into Katie McCabe. You got me there. You got me there. The small things make me strike up a conversation. Then it's up to them to subtly confirm or not. If you know you look femme and you're interested in someone, just reference something about your sexuality. You feel creepy if you have to ask or guess too much, and most people won't dare make a move unless they're sure. That's so true, isn't it? Like, if you were like flirting with someone in a bar and you knew they couldn't quite tell if you were gay, throw in a comment about Arsenal women. Do you know what I mean? Be like, oh, so who do you prefer, Leah Williamson or Katie McCabe? Like, that's then a telling sign to that person to know that you're also into girls. That's so clever. One way is if your femme friends look at you, look at your lips or look you up and down. Like that. LOL, scan the room whilst a tall, handsome man speaks. Which women look either annoyed or completely couldn't care less? That's your girl. Go stand by her, cross your arms and sigh heavily. And I replied to this person and said, best advice ever. Like, it's so true, isn't it? If you just could not give a fuck about this man's presence and what shit he's got to talk about. The eyes. Me trying to take notes. I'm just here taking notes. I love that everyone's here taking notes. The way she looks at me when she talks to me, eye contact, how long she holds my stare, and the licking of her lips with a smile. We can tell by how you look at us, even if you're not trying to flirt. Looking gay is comforting to other gay people. I can see that in women's eyes. Mommy vibes. Feel like I'm not into that, but if you are, that's fine. Bro, OMG. I've been told I have a gay vibe. Like, what? How do you know? People just know. Loads of shopping going on in the comments. I'm so here for that. If they flirt with me, but I'm still unsure. Nothing, I'm a femme and people are always surprised. Haircut, makeup, fashion interests, short nails and piercings, and you're set. Aren't we identifying each other by septum piercings these days? Honestly, I don't think I could get piercing on my nose. I told you all about my little second hole. Agony. No. Take your needles away from me. I think I'd cry. I'm a femme looking for a femme. It's brutal out here. Yeah, I can imagine it's difficult because you're like, are you gay? She's like, are you gay? how are the signs you're telling each other that you're gay? Maybe that'll have to be a question of the week in the future. Like, femmes looking to date femmes, femmes dating femmes. How did you know that you were both into women? They chase you down. Femmes know what they want. Very true. Hands, it's always the hands. I'm just going to start painting girl kisser on all my jean pockets. So iconic. The walk. I did see a few comments about like a lesbian walk, and I'm like, do I have a lesbian walk? Now I want to know. All these people talking about how there is a look in their eyes, and now I'm anxious. I don't give that look to other women. It's hard, isn't it, to not like analyse everything you do and be like, do I have the gay hands? Do I have the gay eyes? Do I have the gay walk? Like, how do you know? But I feel like it is. It's just like a vibe that we must have, and clearly the masks, they can see it. I could never tell. I got handed a woman's name and number, and I thought it was some weird marketing tactic. Help me. That's so funny. Elevator eyes again. I don't know. Is that when they like maybe look you up and down because it's going up and down? Possibly. Calm body language and getting to know me. The right eye contact. They usually smile and give us masks the eyes, then you just know. Let's do a few more, but I do think we're going to have to carry this on to next week's episode because there's 1,253 comments. There's no way we're getting through all of that. At this point, I'm thinking of just wearing a t-shirt that says, I'm a lesbian. No clue. I'm completely oblivious. Even when they tell me they've been with women, I just think they're letting me know because they're comfortable with me being LGBTQ because they've experimented. How long the eye contact lasts, nose rings, especially septums. We will flirt with you, blatantly. I walked up to my now wife in a bar, chatted for a minute, gave her my number, and we've been together since our first date a week later. That's so cute. A lot of rings, no piercings, tattoos, cool clothes, eye contact. See, I don't think I dress cool, so now I'm overthinking that one. I want to know if I'm cool or not. When she tells me directly, because I think I'm Delulu. Love that this is asked over a video of Katie McCabe. I just found this emoji like, tee hee hee. Not me reading the comments to learn how to show I'm not straight. As a femme lesbian, I got it's like the woman symbol crossed over each other, you know, like the lesbian symbol, tattooed on my wrist, and a lesbian, the lovers, on my thigh. The voices tell me, not creepy at all. Don't mind me shopping in the comments. Short nails and the hair flip. Literally just flirt with them, and if they flirt back, there's your answer. I honestly don't know how my gaydar is so accurate. I would say pheromones, but it works through the TV too. It's the walk. The best thing a femme could ever do is give you the eyes and a compliment. You'd be surprised where that could get you. There's too much focus on looking gay instead of just stepping up their game. There you go. Let's do 2 more. Let's like scroll down so we get like some different parts of the TikTok comments. Rings, tattoos, but mostly eye contact. It can be quite hard to tell. Oh, this is a new one we haven't had. It's always the hair, butterfly cut, and long layers. What's a butterfly cut? I feel like I need to like be Googling all these things. Okay, let's do one more. I'm just going to scroll randomly, whatever we stop on. Okay, IDQI, but tattoos. I do feel like, I don't know, like I feel like tattoos are quite like a gay thing, like especially like loads of arm tattoos, like that's something I'm like lesbian, but you have lots of straight girls that have lots of tattoos. So I think like the most important thing is the aura. Like you can do all the things, you can have the tattoos, you can have the piercings, you can have the rings, you can have the hands, you can have the walk, but I think there is just this like aura about you. And I think the thing about like, you know, having the eye contact and like looking at women, like you're not going to look at men the same way you're going to look at a woman if you're a lesbian. So I feel like you can pick up on that, like, are you looking at these men in like pure disgust, and are you looking at the woman in a I want to get in your pants legs kind of way? Do you know what I mean? Like people are going to pick up on the signs. So I feel like femmes, just keep doing what you're doing, but hopefully they gave you like a few answers of what you can do to help yourself out if you want to. But I do feel like we're going to have to do part 2 of that next week because there are literally thousands of comments that I did not get to today. But I think it's about time that we get into the best part of the podcast, some dilemmas and questions and stories. So let's kick off with this one. My parents hate my girlfriend just because of the way she looks. They're saying I have to break up with her, so what the fuck do I do? That's insane. Like, who are they to tell you who you can and can't date because of how they look? Like, it's literally got nothing to do with them. I would literally just tell them, be like, maybe they don't like the way she looks because she's got piercings, because she's got tattoos, like whatever it is, be like, I'm happy, if you can't be happy that I'm happy with this person because you can't see past how they look, that is very superficial. Like, I love this person beyond their looks. Like, who cares if they're butt ugly? If you're happy and they treat you right, that's what's most important. Would they rather you be unhappy with somebody who they deem as really beautiful, but you're unhappy and being treated like shit? Think about that, parents. Sort it out. Stop judging because of people, because of how they look. That's rude and not on. That's what I'm going to say on that matter. So you need to just ignore your parents because that's crazy. Okay, moving on. I'm the straightest looking lesbian I've ever seen, but I want other woman-loving women to be able to know I'm gay without having to change my style or my look. Well, hopefully that question of the week helped you out a little bit. Like, obviously you're saying you don't want to change your style or your look, but maybe now that you just know that there's this aura, you can like trust in the aura, or maybe try things just like rings, like more subtle things that aren't completely changing the way you dress and look, like more subtle things. Like, I mean, how do you know if you have lesbian hands or a lesbian walk? God knows. But things like rings, things like eye contact, like try things like that are more like subtle changes. Oh, we're powering through today, aren't we? Okay, here's a long one. Here we go. My first situationship was with my best friend of 5 years. There was a homoerotic, I don't know what that means. Homoerotic. I don't know what that means. Anyway, vibe in the last 2 years of the friendship. Ignore my sniffles. We fell out of contact maybe 3 years in due to moving schools and reconnected afterwards. This was in secondary school, by the way. Anyway, we ended up at the same school again and became closer than ever. Ever? My God. Eventually, after a long-ass time of both liking each other and never really admitting it, I told her, and she told me she felt the same. We agreed to go on a date, which we were both very nervous about. The vibes were very different, and when we got there, she told me that the place we went to was triggering for her, even though I asked her beforehand whether we should go there or not. Yeah, if you were going to be triggered, just say, can we go somewhere else? That place triggers me. Weird. During the date, she started crying and told me we can't be together because of her parents. I already knew she wasn't out and it was very complicated, but she had a lot of religious trauma, which I did try to support her in. I guess I just didn't know how deep and the extent of this was until the date, and when she said she's going against God by going on this date and she is acting on it, which she said she'd never do because of her dad. I was so upset because I really liked her, but I understood. I was kind of pissed off that she didn't tell me this beforehand and before leading me on, because that's what it felt like, even if it wasn't intended. We went back to being friends and a couple of months later started separate colleges. She then starts messaging me all about the girls she's been kissing, ? Okay, religious trauma who? Kissing girls now, but you couldn't kiss me? Rude. Nothing's changed in her personal life around religious trauma. She can lead me on and drop me, brackets, it took me years to get over that. Yet not even 4 months later, she can start making out with multiple girls in one night and tell me in detail about it. I just don't understand why she needs to tell you. Why is she feeling the need to tell you about these make-out sessions? Like, there's no need. Keep it to yourself. Tell someone else. She tried to come back into my life last summer, but I couldn't do it, so I just blocked her on everything. Good for you. I seriously hope she's well and in a better personal life situation, but I also hope she knows what she did was really shitty. Personally, I'm not a big fan of staying friends with exes. They're exes for a reason. That's so true, and I think like you're in the right headspace about it now. You're like, blocked, crack on, do what you want. But I am genuinely confused. Like, first of all, saying the date place was triggering. Okay, you knew about it in advance, so tell me in advance. And then, like, crying on the date saying, oh, I can't be with you because of my dad and my religious trauma. Like, fair enough. Like, people understand things like that. Like, not everyone is able to come out because of their family. Sorry, I'm cracking my knuckles. I know people hate that, but I need to do what my fingers feel funny. So I apologise if cracking my knuckles offended you. Yeah, that's, like, it's understandable. And I think good on you for, like, respecting that. But then the fact that she's going kissing girls in the club and telling you about it, I don't even have an explanation for that. I don't know what advice I can offer you because that's just crazy. Like, why would you care? Like, I wanted to be the girl kissing you. You're now kissing other girls and telling me about it. Like, this person clearly has or had some issues that they've either worked out or they need to continue working out. But I think you've done the best thing by just blocking them and getting them out of your lives, because clearly they were just going to mess around with your emotions. Moving on. Is it okay to tell someone that is in a relationship that you fancy them? Difficult one. We both had crushes on each other a few years back, but she was already in a relationship when we found out. Her 20 female friends don't like her girlfriend. Brackets, at least 27 female. And the only time I met her girlfriend was a year ago, and she treated her quite bad. I feel like, and I always stand by this, is like this thought and the saying of like, what if? Like, what if you told her? You're not expecting her to break up with her girlfriend on the spot. You're simply saying, listen, I have feelings for you. I always have. I respect that you're in a relationship, but I just have to tell you. Like, what if you said that and that completely changed yours and her life? Because she goes, oh my God, I've always liked you back, but I've been too scared to say it. That's why I've been stuck in this shitty relationship, because I know there's no one else out there for me than you, so I just stuck around in this shitty relationship. Like, what if you told her that you fancied her, you had feelings, she then left this shitty relationship and you got together and had the best time ever? Like, I feel like in some situations, if somebody's like completely happy and like wifed off, you just have to keep that to yourself. But I feel like in this situation, like, you know, this girlfriend hasn't been treating her right, her friends aren't the biggest fan, I feel like it's fair enough to say something. Like, and again, I think say it with respect. I respect that you're in a relationship. I understand that, and I'm not expecting you to leave that relationship for me. But here's my cards on the table. I fancy you. I will treat you better. Think about it. Give me a ring. I feel like there's no harm in doing that. And again, what if you did that and it changed your life and her life completely? So I think in this situation, go for it. I'm giving you the go ahead. Tick. You can do it. Okay. We'll do a couple more. We've got ages. We've got so much time. We're literally on 30 minutes and episodes are like 45 minutes long. We can do so many more. I'm flying through. Went on a first date with a girl who kept eyeing up other women. That's strange. Telling me which were her type and being very open and very verbal about who she fancied. Maybe she was just trying to like show you like, oh, that's my type. But then I guess if you're a different type to what she was pointing out, that's just strange. I brushed it off because it was a first date. She then took me out on a second date and the same thing happened again. I agreed to a third date where, guess what? The same thing happened again. That's so strange. Like, just sitting there on a date being like, do you think she's fit? Oh my God, she's my type. I'd fuck her, would you? And you're just sat there like, hello, we're on a date. That's crazy. During phone calls, she would also tell me about women at work, how she fancied her manager and how these women would approach her on nights out. Maybe she's just trying to like make you like, it's not even going to make you, well, it's going to make you jealous. Like, you've only been on a few dates. Like, I don't really get what her motives are. I ended up going on 4 dates with this girl and then I finally walked away. Am I stupid for staying so long, or is this normal dating behaviour? I mean, it's certainly not normal dating behaviour, but I don't think you're stupid. Like, you clearly were attracted to this woman. You clearly wanted to, like, impress her. You know, maybe you were thinking by the fourth date she's going to be like, oh, you're my type. Well done. It's your turn to be my type today. And I'll tell you, I fancy you. Like, you're not stupid at all for, like, you know, wanting that validation from her and going on dates, because she might have changed, but she just seems strange. Like, I can't think of any reason. Like, sometimes, like, me and Taylor will be like, oh, she's fit. I'd be like, would you date her? She'll be like, yes or no? And she's like, yes. I'm like, rude. She's like, no. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I would. But, like, that's a joke. We're in a 4-year-long relationship. Like, you know, you're allowed to talk like that and, like, banter like that, but dead ass seriously being like, she's fit. She's my type. I fancy my manager. All these girls on nights out want me. When you're literally on a date in a fresh relationship, I don't get it. I don't get, like, the motivations behind that. So I think good for you for just walking away and being like, you know what? This isn't going to work out. Maybe this person wants to be in, like, a polyamorous relationship. Maybe that's what she was trying to hint at. Being like, I think you're fit, but I also think she's fit. Let's have a threesome. Maybe that's what she wanted. And that's okay. And that's not what you wanted. And that's okay too. So you clearly just weren't destined to be together. Maybe this person is just destined to be in a multi-person relationship. And that's okay. As long as they're happy and not hurting other people, it's all good. We're not here to judge. Moving on. I'm still struggling to sleep with someone a year and a half after my relationship ended. It was my first woman-loving woman relationship, and it was very intense. Duh, aren't they all? But now I'm constantly scared of sleeping with anyone when I go on dates. I'd love to know why you're scared. Is it just because of the thought of moving on, or is it because of, like, trauma from that previous relationship? I feel like sometimes, and I feel like I suggest this a lot, and it probably makes me sound like an alcoholic, but I actually don't drink alcohol. But I feel like sometimes you can't beat a little bit of liquid courage. Again, saying that like I drink alcohol, I don't. But I remember when I did, like, it just gives you that, like, layer of confidence. Like, obviously you don't want to be completely fucked, because no woman in their right mind should be having sex with you when you're completely intoxicated. But having, like, you know, a shot of gin and lemonade, a gin and tonic, like, hopefully it would just give you that confidence just to go for it, because I completely understand being in your head when having sex and when thinking about having sex. Like, it's happened to me, it's happened to the best of us. Like, you can completely get in your head and overthink everything and every move and every sound and everything that you say. So I feel like, you know, just being a little bit tipsy, not even tipsy, just like a drink down, it might just give you that courage. Also, just speaking to the person that you're having sex with, like, communication is important. It's healthy, like, being able to say, listen, I'm a little bit nervous, can we take things slow, can we try this, like, by the way, my ex used to treat me not so nice when we had sex together, can you just give me some reassurance? Like, be open and honest and communicate your feelings and what you need. And I'm certain if that person is the right person for you, they will, you know, follow suit with your needs and make sure that you feel extremely comfortable the whole time. But again, like, it's not a bad thing that you're struggling to have sex with. Like, maybe it's just not something that you care about massively, or if it is, then maybe, you know, go and see, like, a sex therapist and be like, you know, it's been a year and a half, my relationship ended and I just physically cannot have sex, because they'll probably be able to give you a bit better advice than little old me. But if it's genuinely, like, eating you up and you're like, I need to have sex but I can't, go and seek a sex therapist. If you're like, I don't really care that I'm not having sex, I'm just struggling to do it, maybe it's just not something that, like, maybe you just have a massively high sex drive and you're just not, like, that fussed about having sex, because there's so much more to relationships than having sex, so much more. So don't put too much pressure on yourself, I don't think. Here we go. My best friend is a lesbian and is dating this new girl. As much as I feel happy she's found someone, I know this girl and I really don't like her. I don't think she's necessarily a bad influence or a bad person for my friend, but I just feel a certain way towards her, so I don't feel like I can say anything. It's so tricky, isn't it? But sometimes you do just get this vibe about people that you can't shake. I'm really unsure on what to do, as I feel like I can't say anything to my best friend, but I also feel like I'm keeping a secret from her by not telling her. That's so difficult. But I feel like saying something to your best friend, like, it's not going to hurt anyone. All you're going to say is like, oh, I just got a really bad vibe from Shay the other week. Where did Shay come from? It's because I keep saying, my Shayla, to Shayla. Hey, my Shayla. So everyone's seen that TikTok trend. Yeah, I got a really bad vibe from Shay the other week. Like, you know, I just thought it was rude that she didn't say thank you to the waitress. Like, you know, just any like little bad vibe that you've picked up on, bring that up, because, you know, your best friend might be missing something. She might be blinded by love, and hearing this from her best friend, it might be what she needs to be like, you know what, I also have this bad vibe. This is just what I needed to like kick me up the ass to get out of this relationship. And again, like, you might say it to your best friend and she might be like, I appreciate you bringing this to me, but I don't see that vibe. Or she might get a bit pissed off and be like, how dare you come for her? And you might go through like a rough patch in the friendship, but then, you know, in a year's time when she's out of the relationship, she might be like, I'm so sorry that I didn't listen to you about this vibe, because she turned out to be a complete fucking psycho. But I feel like, again, it's like that what if thing. I feel like if you feel like you need to say something, then say something. Yeah, it might be awkward, it might be uncomfortable, but that what if is always going to be in your mind if you don't say something. So I feel like obviously don't do it like in front of the girlfriend as well. Like, find a time with your best friend, like take her out for coffee and just bring it up, like, or just bring it up in a normal conversation. Like, when you're talking about the girlfriend, be like, oh, I just got a really bad vibe from her the other day, like, I just can't shake it. Like, just open up that conversation. Okay, guys, we're going to do one more to finish off this week's episode. Sorry, this might be a long one, but I'm pretty sure I'm in love with my best friend. Oh, we've all been there. We've all been there. Don't you worry. I've been trying to push this feeling away, but it's getting harder and harder to ignore. Here we go, let's jump into it. We met about 3 years ago now, and she is honestly the greatest person I know. From the second I met her, I felt like we'd known each other forever. Nobody makes me laugh like she does. Tears of laughter every time we're together, and I feel like we really understand each other. I think she's so incredibly beautiful, even though she can't see it. That's precious. That is so sweet. We talk all the time about everything, and I feel so comfortable around her. I feel like we could have something great, but I value our friendship so much that I don't want to take any risk and tell her how I feel. I feel like if we've learned anything this episode so far, the what if is so important. Like, sometimes I think you just have to take that risk. We met at uni and are part of the same friendship group, so when I see her, there's usually always other people about. She lives about an hour away from me, so sadly I don't get to see her one-on-one as often as I like, but when we have, I have butterflies. I sat on her sofa with her and her family last time, and I felt like it was where I was meant to be. This is actually a love story. Send this to Netflix. Ideally, I'd want to test the waters by dropping a few hints, but she's quite a literal person and doesn't really pick up on things unless you're direct about them. We are sometimes flirty with each other, but I'm not sure if it's entirely banter from her point of view or if she means any of it. She's not a touchy person with anyone, so it's difficult to make physical contact without worrying about making her uncomfortable. It feels like all the subtle tactic. Why can't I speak today? All the subtle tactics I might use usually don't really apply here, but I'm worried that if I say anything directly, I risk ruining our friendship. Although she does like women too, okay, that's the first question in my mind, out of my mind. You know she's into women, so that's a positive. I don't think that I'm her type. Maybe 90% of the time I'm pretty sure that she's not into me, but sometimes I'll get a gut feeling that she could be interested. I also have some confidence issues, so not sure how much of that is me doubting myself more than anything. Our friends often joke around and ask when we're going to get together, which makes me wonder if they're seeing it too. Oh, that is your sign. If you're friends and you said like, you always see each other when you're around these friends, if they are seeing this and picking up on this and asking like when you're going to get together, that is 100% your sign. Like, there is a connection there because they're picking up on it. You've been thinking like, is there a connection there? She's probably thinking the same, and she's probably in the same boat as you, being like, no, we're just friends, da-da-da-da-da. Like, that is your sign. On one hand, she's my best friend, and I don't want to do anything at all to jeopardise our friendship, as she's so important to me, and I'd rather her never know about this if it means that I won't lose her. Hey, girlfriends! Come say hey to the pod. Say hey. They love it when you come on.
Hi guys. My head is so big.
Taylor's also sick, if you couldn't hear.
Oh, I'm super sick.
She's super sick.
Not really anymore, but
She's been, oh, I love you. Can I have a kiss?
you don't normally love me this much.
I always love you. I've not seen you today. Can I have a kiss?
Oh,
Here she goes.
Sorry, you just you disgust me, so I just had to cough. Okay.
Can I have a kiss? Actually, I don't want one. You're coughing. Right, out.
So you just want one, please?
Yes, please. Thank you. She's so evil, guys.
Love you.
I love you.
How
I'll come to you for my
how
kiss.
much in we're out of shot, aren't we?
Got lip gloss on.
I know, I guess I'm done. You can bugger off.
I love you.
Right. So 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Probably.
Love you.
Oh yeah.
She's so cute. I just love her. And you could have that relationship with your friends if you just take that leap. She's in love with her best friend.
That's so unfortunate.
No, because all the friends have said, when are you going to get together? Like, everyone's picking up on the vibe. The only reason she's scared to tell her best friend she's in love with her is because she doesn't want to ruin the friendship.
That's hilarious.
It's not hilarious.
Do you know that people used to think that me and Alex were dating?
No way! That's funny.
I know.
That is hilarious.
Bye.
Right, getting back to my point. She loves to interrupt me, doesn't she? But I love her. So, on one hand, she's my best friend, and I don't want to do anything at all to jeopardise our friendship, as she's so important to me, and I'd rather her never know about this if it means I won't lose her. You are in love. You need to tell her. I can feel the love through the phone. On the other hand, I feel like we could have an incredible relationship if she did happen to feel the same way, and I can't help but think about what we could be missing out on. Any advice on what to do would be appreciated, please. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Because you have this friendship group of friends who also see it, I feel like you need to find a friend that you really trust and be like, can you do some digging? Can you find out if she possibly feels the same? Can you drop the hints to her, can you ask one of them to when they're saying to you, oh, when are you going to get together? Can they say that to her? Can they bring that up around her and see what her reaction's like? If that doesn't work, I completely understand that you don't want to ruin the friendship. But can your friendship be an incredible friendship forever if you know that you're in love with this person? Because you're going to be jeopardising that friendship anyway by not telling her how you 100% feel. Like, you're never going to have a complete 100% honest friendship because you're keeping a big secret from her. So I understand not wanting to ruin the friendship, but is this going to... It's never going to be that 100% honest friendship because you're keeping a secret. So how do we tell her? Do we write her a love letter? I used to love a love letter. I still do. Taylor just doesn't write them for me anymore. Do we, write our feelings out? Do we sit her down and confess? Do we go about it in a more jokey manner, and then if she completely doesn't vibe with it, it was just a joke anyway? But I genuinely feel like there is something there. The fact you're both into women is the biggest like green flag for this to go ahead ever. Like if you didn't even know she was into women, I would be a bit more concerned. But the fact that you're both into women, your friends have completely picked up on this vibe, you also sometimes pick up on the vibe. And, you know, the fact that you don't 100% always be like, yep, she's into me. It's probably because she's also thinking the same thing. So she's probably holding herself back a little bit, being like, you know, I don't want to give her all this energy. And then she's going to be like, haha, fuck you, I'm not into you. So I feel like you're both probably in the same boat, thinking the same things. You're both just too scared to say it. So either get the friends to do some digging, write a love letter, or just sit her down and tell her how you feel. And you can start it off by being like, listen, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, the hardest thing I've ever had to say, because this friendship means everything to me. However, I personally think it might be more than a friendship. And I've picked up on the vibe that you might think that too, and I could be completely wrong. And, you know, like I said, I don't want to jeopardise this friendship, but I do think this could be more than a friendship. And then give it to her. What do you think? Tell me how you feel before you say too much and, you know, put that friendship on the line. Give the power of speaking to her. Give her like a few little drops and then say, I want to hear what you have to say before I say anything else. But please keep me updated. Keep us updated. We all want to know. We're all rooting for you. And I really feel like this could be something special between you guys. So yeah, keep us updated and best of luck. Okay guys, I think it's time to wrap up this week's episode. Thank you all so much for listening today. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave us a review, give us 5 stars, give us a like, a subscribe, a comment, all those good things that you can do. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Juliet Francis T, and follow the podcast at thelesbianlounge.podcast. And I will see you all next Thursday for another episode. I love you all so much. Bye!